to what's taken place with what's taken place. Oh, okay. A lot of what's happening in American Idol is very similar to what we're doing here with the African Startup League. Many of us probably I know I wasn't. I'll speak for myself. I knew nothing about American Idol in the first several years that it was around, certainly not the first year, okay? The only thing I know, I believe it was Kelly Clarkson that won that first year's competition. But my point is this: the longer that show went on, it became more and more and more popular. And in the last several years, I've been kind of catching parts of it. They've made their auditions like they go from city to city to city, these big cities, and they have these auditions. They've made that part of the show. They give the backstory of some of the people showing up, for these auditions, some of the contestants. Again, making that part of the show. It's not just the people on stage singing anymore. That's not just the show anymore. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because you see, it's all of that exposure that has helped build the infrastructure of what American Idol is today. Now, I want you to think about this. When they go to the auditions, they give them that thing called the golden ticket, right? So literally millions of people will go to the audition. If you get a golden ticket, what does that mean? That means you get to go to Hollywood. You are now part of the competition. So it's just like ASL, the African Startup League. You're going to get all these people that want to be part of this, but they need the golden ticket. Your ASL tokens are the golden ticket. Now, what American Idol has evolved to is now they take the top 10 and they have a tour. They have concerts that all over the country with the top 10. But we know that it's not always the winner or even the top 3 or whatever that ends up being the most popular. Why? Because it's the exposure that they got week after week after week. Social media has really played a big part in the promotion and the exposure of a lot of these singers. And in that process, they've been able to gain a following, a fan base, to the point where now the record labels will sign them and give them these $1 million contracts. Why? Because they know that there's already enough of a fan base to put their music out there and they will make money. Some of them are putting it out there before the competition is even over and they're already making money. I mean, this is, if you think about this, this is the kind of exposure that we are going to experience. And the longer we have the competition, the bigger it becomes. And the stories of the people, the companies, the entrepreneurs, whatever, begin to show. Can you imagine them showing them, in their towns in Africa, their cities, wherever they're from, their families, showing how they came up with the ideas, whatever it might be. It all becomes a part now of the story of the African Startup League, the story of a company that became a unicorn. Because we've heard stories of unicorn companies. Now we're going to be able to help create them and be a part of them and profit from them, even have equity in some of them. That's the opportunity you're being presented with. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you, Gamita. I think that also added some clarity to what we're having today, what we're doing here with the Startup League. So hello, everyone, again from Vietnam. We're going to keep it quiet. We can keep it quick today because we're headed to another area. And so we're going to be flying in about an hour. So I'll have Marcus come on and do the quick updates that we have, some really good updates for you. And so I look forward to having those updates. So everyone try to be on, because the next couple of days we're going to be moving really fast. And so if you're on early, the better you'll understand everything else as well. Okay. So thank you, Marcus. Oh, hold on, I actually gotta let him unmute. Okay. All right. Okay, you should be able to unmute now, brother.
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, keep it going. I just want to piggyback real quickly what Mita said, one point. And then my point is this, Mita, that's absolutely an excellent point, 100% spot on what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it. I just want to add one piece to it that's really incredible that people don't think about. In American Idol, not only the winners, not only the participants, not only people who got on stage, American Idol taught the world the elements of being a good singer. For tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people who sing every day, singing for their choirs, singing in their cities, singing in any kind of way that, whether it just makes people happy, they don't make any money at it, it taught millions and maybe hundreds of millions of people the elements of being a good singer. So the singing, one could argue, and I would definitely argue, singing as overall art globally has been raised by American Idol. By watching everywhere you go, there's American Idol version. Here in Vietnam, there's American Idol version. And people get to watch and see what's a good singer or not. And so the art of singing has been raised on a global level. This is a big element that we never talk about African Startup Week, which is that while 10,000 companies, because not that we're going to have 10,000 unique, great startups, they're going to be unicorns every year, because we want to elevate the level of business all across Africa. And so not only the 10,000 companies who are absolutely going to get elevated, they cannot go through the process without elevating their thought process, elevating their company, making their company better. But everybody that's watching is going to understand the elements of being a good startup, how to create a startup, how to create a unicorn. We're going to elevate the same way that American Idol has elevated the art of singing. We're going to elevate it to science of starting a business and growing a business all across Africa. We may have a greater impact in the people who never, in the amount of companies and people who never get into a tournament than we have in the people who actually get in the tournament. And this is going to create, and those companies, while they won't be unicorns, they're going to create 3, 4, 5, 10, 50, 30, 100, 200 jobs. And collectively, they create hundreds of millions of jobs, all that benefited from watching others many times participate in African Startup League. So thank you, Mita, for bringing out that point, because we don't speak about this. I've never spoke about this on the call. That is 100% one of the reasons that we're doing this. We know that this process, this very public process, will elevate the state of business all across the continent of Africa, and then create tens of millions of more jobs that we don't even know about from people who never got in the competition, which is our overall mission. So thank you for that. Now to the updates. We have four major updates today, I believe. And so I'm going to start the updates by saying, guys, these are things that we've been talking about. And so mostly, but these are things that are now coming to fruition. So I want to start with the first update, which is that we started issuing out B&B last night. We issued about 15% of the B&B out last night. So people will be reaching you today people will be reaching for you today to get information, start getting wallets, and we're gonna try to get all this B&B issued over the next as soon as possible, couple of days, soon as possible. So we're gonna get all the B&B issued so everybody can go in. People who got issued last night already went in and bought their tokens, so people can go in and buy their tokens. And then and then go ahead and continue to recruit people and go forth and multiply. So that's number one. Number two is that we actually listed the token live last night on Pancake Swap as a part of a process. So this is part of the process to do two things, a couple of things. But one is to, we're preparing a listing for coin market cap, et cetera, and applying for that. We want to be listed while we did that. And number two, it creates a market. It creates a market for the coin, for ASL coin, because there's nothing worse than people having coins and there's no real market for the coin. And just like in humanity, we always want to have a real market for the coin. And now that, few people have the coin, enough people have the coin, we have a market for the coin. And so in the groups, we'll be putting a link to where you can see that. You can see that the coin, see the price, et cetera. Price right now is about a penny and a half. But we'll get that out and we'll start, sharing that widely after this call. So we've listed the coin. People can go out and Pancake Swap and buy the coin. We'll sell the coin. If they don't understand what we're doing, but people can go out and buy the coin today and Pancake Swap, et cetera. Number two, so the coin is out there listed, just like you guys saw the process before of us listing HMN. We have now ASL listed, and now we're going to start applying for all of the listing services for ASL. That's number two. Number three is that we're interviewing, this is something that's happening behind the scenes, but we're interviewing some really great teams for the preseason. So some really great startups, some really great teams. Again, it's going to be a shortened preseason. There's going to be a select teams, but some really great startups that everybody here who have token before the preseason start will be able to participate in. Again, you need to have token in your wallet before the preseason starts to participate in the preseason. And we got some really, really great startups in this first batch of the preseason that we've been interviewing. You're not going to want to miss. You're not going to want your people to miss. This is the beginning, but it's also, because these startups are going to be hand selected by, a panel of group of, people who are knowledgeable about the startup world. So three, make sure you get your people in before the preseason starts. And number four, before the preseason starts, we're creating a bonus pool. And the bonus pool is going to create a couple of different levels of override for everybody, for every company that wins. Just like we had in HMN, for people who were angels and ambassadors, they got an override. And a lot of people earn overrides over the entire system. You're going to have here a very short window for people to earn overrides. They earn overrides over the ASL system. So we're going to come out with that. So make sure you're on the call tomorrow. And we're going to explain the bonus override system tomorrow. So make sure you're on the call tomorrow night, because we're going to go into detail about the bonus override system, but you don't want to miss it. And your window for getting the bonus override is going to be very, very short. Again, these are rewards for first movers, for people who are with us. And our system always tries to reward people who come with us, stay with us, and helping us build out the humanity ecosystem. So those are our four announcements. We've started distributing the BNB. We did about 15% last night of the BNB distributed. We'll wrap this up in the next couple of days. Number two, we listed the token. We created a liquidity pool, listed the token on Pancake Swap. And we listed basically roughly around 20% of the token that's sold. And we'll keep adding to the liquidity pool as we go. But the token is listed on Pancake Swap. Number three is that we're already pre-selected startups for the preseason, and you don't want to miss. Some of these startups are really, really hot, really good. You don't want to miss the preseason. Number four is that we're going to create a bonus pool for early movers, but you have a short window, so don't miss the call tomorrow night. But tomorrow night's call, we're going to describe the bonus window, the bonus pool. How do you earn yourself into the bonus pool? With that, because again, we are traveling, I'm going to turn back over to I'm gonna turn it back over to Jamal. Have maybe a couple quick questions, and then we're gonna have to hit the road on this side.
Thank you so much, Marcus. Thank you for the updates. Actually, today, I don't think we're going to take questions today just because we need to get the recordings up so people can get the updates. And also we need to be out of here in about 30 minutes. So if we do questions, that's not going to be able to happen, right? So